Everybody's dream when you come into the OFM space is just to sign a top model, for example, 0.1%, and just to start earning money straight off the bat, which, don't get me wrong, very possible. I've seen it been done many times. But is it easier to sign a top 0.1% model in the current climate, or to make a model or take a model from the top 2% to the top 0.1%? That is kind of what we are going to discuss today, and what is actually required to bring a model to that top 0.1%.
Exactly. So to sign a model in the top 0.1%, what do you need? You need influence, money, and a possibility of virality, or you personally going viral yourself to then obviously bring in the model via clout. Now, is this possible for the normal 9-to-5 person working? No, it's not. Unfortunately, that isn't really a possibility unless you have hit one of them brackets there. When I say money, I don't mean your 10K that you've saved up from your 9-to-5 job. That's not going to cut it. The model is most likely going to be making more than that per month if they're anywhere near the top 0.1% of models. So how are you actually going to sign that model? Or is it better off getting a 5% model and then build them up to 0.1%? But that's something we're going to weigh up in this video. So realistically, like I just said, DMing a model isn't going to work unless you're some high caliber person. So firstly, what do you do? Well, you can either have a personal brand, which is very effective and very beneficial, which is going to draw models in that are going to be around the caliber of 5 to 10%. That is one way of doing it. And that's personally how a lot of people in the space do get a lot of models signed via contracts, via social media marketing. Or you can go to places such as model marketplaces and look for a model between 5 and 10%. But this is also possible, and this is where you're going to be leveraging the money rather than the influence.
Or actually having results. So if you are a well-known agency, you have models that have made results from your page. They're going to have friends in the OF space that are going to want to sign to an agency, and therefore you've already got the results to back that up because they're mates. And then you can sign models via referrals and other methods like this.
And that is where the virality comes in. The virality of one of your models or a friend's model, which you can then, or let's say partner's model, which you can then work with to be able to pull some more models in to help you out with recruitment. But the problem is still getting them to that 0.1%, because you can't just sign a model that's on 0.1% because they've already got an agency. It's impossible to get to that level without an agency. And if it is possible, then they're not going to be able to stay at that level or consistency of just one person running a fucking OnlyFans account at that level. It's just not going to work. Like, it's facts. It requires a lot more staff. It's like saying running Amazon with 2 people. Not going to fucking work. You need more than 2 people to be able to get to that quality of performance.
So first of all, if you have a large network of models or of agencies that can refer you models of this kind of caliber, then that is also a game. However, you can't just jump into that kind of network if you've never done this kind of work before, because even if you do have the connections to someone who maybe manages these type of models, or you just know a load of models themselves that are at this level, they're still going to want to see some sort of results or some proof that you can actually do the job that you're doing. And another thing is, once you actually get these models on board, you're going to have an absolutely solid onboarding process. So you're going to have to make it known to this model. They're going to have to work. They're going to have to do this. You're going to set up clear guidelines so that they know that when they come on board with your agency, they need to make this many TikToks, this many Twitter posts, this many Instagram posts. And to make it very, very clear what your intentions are with this model, and are they going to be able to keep up with the workload of your agency? Because a lot of agencies just sign models, and realistically that model isn't ready or can't keep up with the workload that you may need to be able to market that model efficiently. So by making sure in that onboarding process that you've got a clear schedule, you know that that model will do that work for you. You're basically creating a wall that they can't breach so that you are able to actually scale that model to that level.
Exactly, and that comes in with proof of concept as well. So obviously if you've not got proof that that strategy is going to work, then what's the point in getting a whole regimented plan ready for that model? You need proof of concept, and that means you need experience and previous models doing the process. Or, once again, a good network which already has previous models that are doing that concept. So, for example, like Kyle said, a certain amount of TikToks, Twitters, if you're doing social media marketing, or GGs, etc. You need a concept or a funnel that is going to get them models to X amount of percentage. And if they're at already 5% and you want to get them to 0.1, then obviously that is very, very important to have that concept going. If you're trying to get them to 0.1%, you need more of a management strategy and a maintenance strategy, because they're already hitting peak performance. Therefore, it's going to be a lot harder to grow them more So rather than growing, you need a concept, proof of concept that you can maintain that account effectively and not let it drop down into the 1 to 5% category.
Yeah, and I think as well that proof of concept fits in nicely with your actual marketing skills as well as your sales skills. So to be able to actually get that model on board, you need to have decent sales skills, jump on a call with them and be able to sell them this idea that you're going to be able to scale them to that level. If you can't do that, the model's not really going to bother buying into you and they're not going to sign to your agency. That comes nicely along with your actual marketing skills. So again, to be able to get a model to apply or to actually be able to scale that model to that level, you have to have somewhat marketing knowledge. You have to actually be able to scale a model from this to this with your marketing knowledge you have. And you have to be absolutely confident in yourself that you can do that.
Exactly, that's why AI comes in significantly, because you can get all of these boxes. You can get proof of concept because you have an AI that is disposable, that is not required to pay rent or anything like that. So you can throw marketing methods at it left, right and center. It doesn't work, it's fine, because it's that AI model. You're the only one taking the loss. When it comes to work rate and making sure that the TikToks are fulfilled, the Instas, the social media marketing, etc. When it comes to AI, you don't need to worry about that because once again, you're the one, or your team is the one that's going to be generating that. So there's no need to worry about that. So that's already 2 boxes ticked. The third one is just the money and the virality. And they're the 2 hard ones when it comes to AI models. But that is why getting up to, let's say, the 5 to 10% bracket with AI models is so much easier, because there's already 2 boxes ticked out of the big 3 to 4 boxes that are required.
Yeah, and as well, if you do have an AI model and you do have that proof of concept and that marketing skills that you have to be able to scale a model to that level, you already know what to do, but you do it from your perspective rather than the model post that or the model do this. You literally control the content that's being made, the positions that model does in pictures, all kind of videos that model makes. So having that knowledge there simply allows you to just be able to carry out that thing without any external factor stop you from doing that. So maybe a model's lazy one day, they don't want to do the work that you set them for that day. You literally just jump on an AI model's generator and generate that content yourself. And as long as you have the time and you can do that, then there's no real setbacks with an AI model.
And that is why we love it, and that is why we teach it, because we've been doing it for so long. We've realized this gap in the market and we have fulfilled it and are now letting other people fill it with us, because we've realized the capabilities of AI models. So if you're interested in learning that, obviously you know where to go. You can go our page, you can go fucking YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, etc. You can find us anywhere because we're showing everyone this because it's so significant. And not many people have jumped on the bandwagon, but the ones that have are fucking making a lot of money now already, because like Robin says, boxes are ticked and you don't have to try fucking outreach and DM loads of models, because that is a lot of time wasted where you could be putting the money into yourself and getting back results. So let me know if you ever want help with them AI models and AI influencers within the OFM space.